What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Experience More podcast. Pumped and excited to be able to have each and every single freaking one of you back today. Today's episode is really just going to be a quick hitter. Say quick. Let's be real, guys. You know, I can talk and get on different rants, all these different things. But you know really the ethos of the Experience More podcast is to live a lifestyle that allows you to experience more of it. You know, I wanted to do an episode here that really is just, more of the personal mindset, the development side of things. And, I've had a lot of different things, and there's going to be many episodes, many different topics that are ultimately going to be coming up in the near future. But I wanted to do this one to just encompass, really honestly, that the state that I see our country in right now, the state that I see the world in right now. There is a lot of fucking shit going on. Let's just be real. You can probably, I don't think any of you would disagree that the world is in kind of, a shit storm as a whole. And, I have numerous individuals who, have had conversations with me over the years, of life, of business, of just their overall like health and wellness. Very fortunate to be surrounded by individuals who always strive and push me to be the best that I can be. Because let's be honest, like I need a good solid punch in the side of the head from time to time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm no different than any of you, but I want it to be very, very, very clear in some of the things that I've ultimately learned over the years and just come to know true about me. And I want to take it back to good old 2020 and COVID times, right? If there is one thing I think anyone learned through COVID, it is that one, no one is going to save you but yourself. The government doesn't have your best interests in mind. Your company does not have necessarily your best interests in mind. Other people don't have your best interests in mind at all times. Now, there are some good, great, grand people around. I don't want to make this seem like a huge negative Nancy show. This is the aspect that majority of people, a good handful of people, woke the fuck up during that time. I see more people getting outdoors and more people looking to go on hikes, to breathe fresh air, to go on hunts, to do all these things. Like we saw a huge push to go out and have the sustainable life. We saw the whole push to go do homesteading and all of this stuff to where it's like, hey, you need to be able to fend for yourself, take care of yourself, provide for you and your family, your loved ones. So there's all this stuff going on. And I think it's very important, no matter where you're at, right, in life. Maybe this is really for the individuals who maybe are struggling, right? They're struggling in the concept of in a hole and maybe feeling sorry for themselves, maybe feeling this pity me, poor me kind of attitude. And maybe they were at, 3 months ago, 6 months ago at a really big high. They were doing really good. Came out of COVID. Everything was going great. And then all of a sudden, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Everything seems to get ripped out from under them. And they ultimately don't know how they got to where they are right now. You've been on cloud nine and now you're in the cellar. And it's so dark that you're trying to go through and figure out what way's fucking up, what way's left, right, top, bottom, anything in there. I've been there. I watched a lot of people be in that position during COVID. I helped a lot of people through that position during COVID. And one of the best things that honestly helped me was helping others in that time. And I will tell you something that I had to tell myself over and over and over and over again. And I ultimately told a lot of the people that I worked with in that period of time is when the world is out of control, when nothing seems to be going right, control the controllables. You will always be able to control your attitude and effort. The truth is that no matter how crazy the world gets, no matter who is in office, no matter what your boss says, no matter what your significant other does, no matter where you are at, you and only you have total, absolute control of how you respond to anything life throws at you. You might get a flat tire. You get to control how you respond to that piece. Your girlfriend or significant other leaves you, dumps you, whatever. You get to control how you respond to that, good or bad. You lose your job, you get to control how you respond to that, good or bad. Same if you get a promotion, you get to respond to that, good or bad, right? No matter what happens in life, you're in control of how you respond to that. And when it all seems to be going to hell, you have to focus on controlling the controllables and focus in on those simple little things. Your attitude and effort are things that are in total control of what you do, what you put in your body, what you eat, what you drink. That is something you are in control of. What you consume in your mind, what you watch, what you listen to, those are controllables. You are in total control of that. You can't control what other people talk about, what other people do, but you are in total, absolute control of how you respond to everything life throws your way. And you are in total control of how you respond to what you watch, what you hear, what you eat, how you sleep, how you physically move. All of those things are in your control, right? So watching people go through this state of chaos during COVID and really any point in life is they feel out of control because they're putting all their faith in these people, or they thought these other people had their best interest in mind, and they felt out of control because they weren't doing the things they thought they should be doing. Reality is that's just not how it is at any point in time during any day of the week. It's also why a lot of people who are miserable, sad, or unhappy is they focus on so many negative things of the what ifs and, oh, this is probably going to happen. Like, they're so pessimistic that they're focusing so much on negative that that's all they see. And they're already having the idea that this is what's going to come to be. Well, it's true. So you have to focus on the controllables that are positive in your life to move yourself forward, right? It's why, honestly, things like 75 Hard are so powerful. It's not a fitness program. It's a personal development and wellness, or it's a personal development mental toughness program. When I say mentally tough, the tough piece is not that it's challenging your brain. It's the challenge of being disciplined on a day-to-day basis to make yourself a fucking priority with what you consume and drink, what you consume with your food, what you consume with your mind, what you consume on a day-to-day basis. It's all about consumption, you being in control of what you are consuming and what you're not consuming, right? It's why that's powerful. That's why it's been so successful. It's why I've watched it change people's lives. It's why I've watched it save people's lives, right? And it's been something I will always go through and give to anyone and everyone. 75 Hard. Look up andyfrisella.com. You will see the program. It is a free program. You only got to go through and be consistent yourself. You got nothing to lose but everything to gain, right? It teaches you how to control the controllables, how to take action in your life. And that's honestly what I did during COVID was 75 Hard. Did it with about 35 other individuals, which they did it with, I think, cumulatively, we had over 200 individuals going through and doing this program. One of them had over 100 individuals themselves, and then they had friends and family, and it was like compounded out to where it was so cool to be able to watch. Like, in the beginning, a lot of people were really hurt and not sure what to do, but you get 5 days in, 10 days in, you're making yourself a priority, you're eating better, you're moving consistently, you're reading positive things, and you just block out all the noise, the negative bullshit that's out there in the world, right? If there's anything, and I'm not saying you have to do 75 Hard. Maybe it's something that could benefit you. Maybe not. But what I would focus on is, what do you focus on? And control what is in your total control, right? The job is not in control. You are not in control of what happens inside of your job. You're in control of how you respond to what happens. You're in control of the effort you give to the job or lack of effort, right? So you focus on those controllables, right? And then make yourself a priority. The best moments I've ever had in my life have been when I've made myself a priority. You must be okay with being selfish. For you to truly be selfless, you must first be selfish. Say that again. For someone to be truly selfless, they must first be selfish. What do I mean by that? I mean that if you want to go through and provide the absolute best life for your significant other, your kids, the individuals around you, your coworkers, everything, like for you to be able to be the absolute best for them, you first must be the best you. That comes down again to your physical activity, what you read, what you watch, what you listen to, what you drink, all in the consumption side of things. What are you consuming, right? It's okay to be selfish, because being selfish with the mindset that this is to be selfless is one of the most powerful things you could ultimately do. If you're struggling in a relationship, if you're not sure because that relationship lost the flair or anything, like I can look at my relationship with my wife, right? I know that we are our best when I'm my best. When I go through and invest into me and make sure I'm continuously moving forward and getting better and progressing, I watch her get better, her progress, her dive in and push to be bigger and better and all these things. It's the same with anyone and everyone else out there. Where I see a lot of relationships ultimately deteriorate, and it is like we're all working hard individually. We find the perfect individual that matches our energy, and then we start to we start to settle. We're okay with being a little bit more lazy because we got them. Then all of a sudden we start to lose ourselves. We put really our happiness in the hands of other individuals versus taking hold on what we are passionate about. Because it is not two halves make a whole. It is two wholes make a life, make a journey, make an experience. I think so many individuals struggle because they focus so much, and I've done this, to where you put so much time and effort into other people that you're relying that your happiness is going to be fulfilled by them. You see a lot of this, whether it's relationships, jobs, any of this stuff. They pour so much of them that their happiness is directly tied to the experience the other individual is having, and then that individual goes and does something else and leaves you, and you're lost, crushed, gone, right? To where it's good to take care of people, support them, push them, dive into that, but not at the detriment of you. I've also been at my lowest. The moments where I've found myself in the deepest, darkest hole. Like the hole that I would wish upon no one, the hole that leads to a loaded gun at a end of a dirt road, the hole where it is something that no one should ever have to experience. But I would put money on the fact that anyone and everyone, even the happiest individuals in the world, will face. And I personally believe that we find ourselves in those holes because we forget to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and focusing on our own personal growth versus just the joy and happiness of someone else. If your job and sole mission is, just to help someone else achieve their goal and mission, I would figure out how to do that while fulfilling the bigger goals and passions and mission you have in life if they weren't there. What is the goal? If that individual wasn't there, what are you doing to strive for to be the best version of yourself? If they weren't there, what would you do today? You have to ask yourself that. Because if all you're doing is living your day today and living your tomorrow solely on the idea that I'm getting up today to help them achieve their goal, I'm getting up tomorrow to help them achieve their goal, what happens if tomorrow they're not there? How lost will you be? And I think this is where we see a lot of the world right now in the state that it is, and to bring full circle back, that we see a lot of people in multitudes of facets here that struggle, at least what I watch, and I hate controversy, hate it, but it's a necessary evil. And I believe that I listen. I like to listen and observe and see and watch how people handle controversy. I think people like to talk over individuals a lot just so they can be heard versus find the ultimate solution. And that's where I think a lot of people in society right now are just trying to talk over other individuals so they can be heard, whether it's one party or another party or whatever's going on in the ultimate world, to where really the biggest thing that we need to focus on is like, just go be a good fucking human. Focus on being the best version of yourself. Be a good role model for you. Be a good role model for your significant other. Be a good role model for your household. Be a good role model for your town, for your community, for your country, and just allow everything to create a ripple effect out from there. Because this is what happens. If you think about your day action, to the action you have today is like taking a grain of sand and plopping it into the water. Well, that grain of sand will create a little ripple, which will spread out just a little ways. It's still there. You probably can't see it though, but it'll create something, an itty bitty ripple. But if every day you are working towards creating a better impact yourself, what happens is like, that's like putting another grain of sand next to the one you just had. And you do that day after day after day. Eventually, that little piece of sand turns into a pebble. Well, that pebble drops into the water. What happens now is you have a bigger ripple. Well, that ripple is about connection and is going to connect with other people, right? To where now your ripple is being seen and heard and felt by other individuals because you've been disciplined and consistent in what you do and making yourself the best you can be, being a little bit selfish, taking care of yourself. In turn, you're actually taking care of other people and they're seeing it, they're hearing it through your actions. Well, now what happens is you got your pebble and you help other people go through and go on that journey, right? To where now other people in your community, in your city, wherever you're at, right? Maybe it's in your school for some of you guys who are younger, whether you're in high school, whether you're in college, you're like your coworkers. I watch this a lot with individuals that I've worked with and friends and people just in the industry that I'm in. That now you have a pebble that you're dropping in the water, but then also that significant other has a pebble and you're dropping both of them in at the same time, creating a bigger impact. Well, now you have 4 or 5 people who are ultimately out taking action and doing more stuff, taking more action. Now that pebble becomes a full stone. Now you're dropping boulders into the water as you're creating a bigger impact within your household, your community, your city, everything around you. Now we're creating a positive movement that is being heard by many, many, many more people that you probably don't even know, hear, and or see you. I also think that's a huge, powerful piece of social media and sharing good, positive messages out during and via social media. Move more positive words versus all this negative stuff that's ultimately put out there. Because the thing is, what you focus on is what you will see. What you focus on is the actions that you will take. That is what will be produced. So if you're focused on positive movement, focused on the like controlling the controllables and taking action on the effort and the attitude, well, you're going to help inspire other individuals to do exactly that, to take control of their fucking life and go out and be the absolute best they can possibly be for everyone around them. The coolest piece about all of that is you're your absolute best as well. And in turn of you being your absolute best, you're helping everyone else around you. And it starts small, but just like that ripple, and just like with every grain of sand, and just like every pebble thrown, the ripple will only become bigger as time goes on and the amount of stones that are thrown in. And no matter how big that grain of sand is or that pebble, there's always going to be a ripple. There's always going to be something. If you're moving it, it is felt, that is negatively or positively. You get to determine on what the ripple will ultimately be. So I know, again, it goes longer than ultimately thought or said it would, but this is something I wanted to hit on and talk about. Honestly, a lot of the times, guys, I do these episodes and all sorts of facets. Like I literally talk to myself. Like it is things I've thought about. These are the things that keep me up at night. This is the things that wander through my mind as I daydream. because I do that quite often. And it's a lot of the times the things that I'm calling myself out on. Like, I'm no better or perfect than any of you guys, but I challenge you to take control of who you are, the thoughts you have, the actions you take, because you are 100% fucking worth it. And I don't ever want to see anyone in that dark cellar of a hole. I've been there. It's a scary place. It's not a fun place to be. And honestly, no one should have to be there. But I know most will always, not always, speak in absolutes, but most people are going to venture through that hole. And I'm telling you, what's helped me go through that is make yourself a priority and call yourself on your own shit and know that no one else is going to save you, and that how we go out and create a better impact in this country and in this world and in the outdoor space, in the hunting community, in the space, it comes down like in all facets. If we want to see a better outdoors, we want to see a better hunting community, let's focus on being a better fucking human. Quit worrying about all the minutia and the different shit that's ultimately going on in the world. Let's start with being the best we can be before we start poking fingers and pointing fingers. That's really, if we want to get into the nitty gritty of that piece, is be the best absolute version you can be with the hopes of creating an impact to those around you. And we'll figure out and fix everything else as the ripples ultimately continue to grow. So with that being said, I love each and every one of you guys. A little bit different of a podcast, things I wanted to hit on. Like I said, I got some others and different, just actual straight up topics that I'm going to be hitting on, just nitty gritties of different things here, things that have helped provide value to me, that have helped me through different points of life, that I've seen help many other individuals build businesses, be successful, change their life. I want to be able to bring each and every one of you guys. So I do appreciate each of you guys coming onto the show. If you have not gone through and subscribed to the Overdose Outdoors, I guess that's where the Experience More podcast is hosted, is on the Overdose Outdoors podcast or YouTube. That's going to be a tongue twister. I'm going to have to figure out how I say all that shit. Still figuring it out, guys. But it'll be linked in the notes below. If you see this on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. Have a goal of 1,000 subs within the next 6 months, or really before the end of the year. So we have like 9 months. I guess we're already a quarter of the year in, which is crazy. But the subs are real. We want to be able to get to 1,000, help us go through and get to a point to be able to grow this, build this, and ultimately do bigger and better things as a whole. So if you found any bit of value in it, I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. For those guys who go through, like, subscribe, following along. And then the podcast, definitely, if you have not written a review, if you have not written a review right now and or in the past, would love you for it. Check it out. Throw down a little bit of a scribble in there. And, 5-star. If it's not a 5-star, go away. Do not come back. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But all honesty. Real feedback, true feedback, good, bad, and different. Don't care either way. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming on and being a part of it. Like, subscribe, comment, share the show, leave reviews. Have a great freaking week, and we'll see you next time. Love you guys.